Hello, America. Tonight we're diving into a topic as essential to democracy as apple pie and, well, democracy itself, accountability, specifically the lack thereof. Because, let's face it, holding those in power responsible for their actions is about as American as complaining about your taxes. It's in our DNA, folks. Accountability is the bedrock of a functioning government. It's the principle that ensures those entrusted with power are answerable for their decisions and actions. Without it, power becomes concentrated, unchecked, and ripe for abuse. And folks, that's when things get really ugly really fast. Think of it like this. Imagine your local barista starts using the tip jar to fund their interpretive dance career. You'd probably have some questions, right? Now imagine that barista is the leader of the free world. Suddenly those questions become a matter of national importance. Over the next few minutes, we'll explore how the erosion of accountability during the Trump administration, particularly regarding the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, and the curious case of Elon Musk serves as a stark warning about the fragility of our system. Buckle up, America, because this is going to be a bumpy ride. Remember Watergate, the scandal that brought down a president and reshaped American politics forever, or the Enron scandal and the financial crisis? These events remind us of the catastrophic consequences when accountability is ignored. But it's not all doom and gloom. Whistleblowers, journalists, and the public play crucial roles in demanding accountability. Together, we can uphold the principles of accountability and ensure a brighter future for our democracy. So let's get started and dive deep into the power game of Trump, Musk, and the question of accountability. Now, some might argue that Donald Trump's presidency was a masterclass in accountability. After all, the man was impeached twice. But let's be honest, folks, being impeached twice and escaping unscathed is like winning a limbo contest against yourself. It's not exactly a glowing endorsement of your character. Trump's tenure was marked by a blatant disregard for norms, a penchant for self-dealing, and a complete lack of respect for the institutions he swore to uphold. Remember the good old days when presidents at least pretended to care about things like ethics and the rule of law? Pepperidge Farm remembers. From undermining the military to using presidential pardons as party favors, Trump treated the Oval Office like his own personal fiefdom. He blurred the lines between personal interest and national interest, leaving a trail of ethical quandaries and constitutional crises in his wake. And folks, that's just the tip of the iceberg. So grab your waders because we're about to delve into the murky depths of Trump's accountability swamp. Consider the Trump Organization's legal troubles with allegations of tax fraud and financial misconduct. These issues have led to numerous investigations and lawsuits, further tarnishing his legacy. The division he sowed in the country has left a lasting impact, with a polarized nation still grappling with his influence. And let's not forget his use of social media to spread misinformation and incite unrest. This has led to a broader conversation about the role of digital platforms in politics and accountability. So, as we continue to explore the power dynamics at play, remember that accountability is not just about facing consequences, but also about the lasting impact on society. One of the most sacred tenets of American political discourse is respect for the military. These brave men and women put their lives on the line to protect our freedoms, and honoring their service should be a given, not a bargaining chip. Yet, time and time again, Donald Trump demonstrated a shocking disregard for those who served. He famously referred to fallen soldiers as losers and suckers, comments that sent shockwaves through the nation and drew condemnation from both sides of the aisle. He skipped a visit to a World War I cemetery, citing rain as an excuse, because apparently honoring the sacrifices of fallen heroes is a fair-weather activity. And who can forget his repeated attacks on Senator John McCain, a war hero and prisoner of war? Trump, a man who received multiple draft deferments during Vietnam, repeatedly belittled McCain's service, proving that some things are even more cowardly than dodging the draft. Trump's treatment of the military was not just disrespectful, it was a betrayal of the very values he swore to uphold as president. It was a stark reminder that for him, loyalty was a one-way street. His actions left a lasting impact on the morale of the armed forces and the nation's trust in its leadership. The consequences of his words and deeds will be felt for years to come, a sobering lesson in the power of words and actions. Section 4, pardons for profit, justice for sale. The power to pardon is one of the most significant tools at the disposal of the president. It's a power rooted in mercy, a way to right historical wrongs or offer a second chance to those who deserve it. But in the hands of Donald Trump, the pardon power became something far more sinister, a tool for personal gain and political expediency. Trump used pardons to reward loyalists who covered up his alleged crimes, undermined investigations into his administration, and generally did his bidding. He pardoned Paul Manafort, his former campaign chairman, who was convicted of tax fraud and bank fraud. He pardoned Roger Stone, his longtime political advisor, who was convicted of lying to Congress and witness tampering. And he pardoned Michael Flynn, his former national security advisor, who pleaded guilty to lying to the FBI. These pardons were not acts of mercy. They were blatant attempts to obstruct justice and shield his cronies from accountability. Trump turned the pardon power into a get-out-of-jail-free card for his inner circle, further eroding public trust in the justice system. The implications of these actions are profound. They suggest a justice system that can be bought, where loyalty and money can override the rule of law. This erosion of trust in the justice system is not just a political issue. It strikes at the very heart of democracy and fairness. Historically, presidential pardons have been used to heal and unite. But under Trump, they became a symbol of division and corruption. The legacy of these actions will be felt for years to come as the nation grapples with the consequences of a justice system compromised by power and greed. Section 5. The almighty dollar, exploiting faith for personal gain. Now, I'm not a religious scholar, folks. I get most of my theological insights from Twitter arguments and the occasional episode of The Simpsons. But even I know that using religion as a prop for political gain is about as kosher as a bacon-wrapped shrimp cocktail. Yet that's exactly what Donald Trump did throughout his presidency. He shamelessly courted evangelical voters, pandering to their beliefs while simultaneously violating every tenet of Christian charity. He famously held up a Bible upside down in front of a church after tear-gassing peaceful protesters, a photo op so tone-deaf it could have doubled as a campaign ad for the Antichrist. Trump's embrace of religious rhetoric was as transparent as it was cynical. He treated religion not as a sacred calling, but as a marketing tool, a way to consolidate power and appeal to a specific demographic. And folks, that's about as holy as a $3 bill. Take televangelists, for example. They often exploit faith to amass wealth, preying on the vulnerable. Lavish lifestyles funded by donations from believers, all in the name of God. Politicians aren't much different. They use religious platforms to gain votes, not to spread genuine faith. It's a power game, folks, and in this game, faith is just another pawn. Accountability in modern politics is more than just a buzzword. It's the cornerstone of a functioning democracy. When leaders are held accountable, it ensures they serve the public interest rather than their own. But what happens when accountability is ignored or undermined? Take Richard Nixon's Watergate scandal, for instance. The break-in at the Democratic National Committee headquarters and the cover-up led to Nixon's resignation. It was a stark reminder that no one, not even the president, is above the law. The scandal reshaped public trust in government and led to significant reforms in campaign finance and transparency. Fast forward to the early 2000s, and we see the Enron scandal. Top executives engaged in widespread accounting fraud, leading to the company's collapse and the loss of thousands of jobs. The scandal prompted the Sarbanes-Oxley Act to protect investors by improving corporate disclosures. More recently, the impeachment trials of Donald Trump highlighted the ongoing struggle for accountability in politics. Accusations ranged from abuse of power to obstruction of justice. While the Senate acquitted him, the trials underscored deep political divisions and challenges in holding leaders accountable. Internationally, Brazilian President Dilma Rousseff was impeached in 2016 for manipulating government accounts. Her impeachment was controversial, reflecting broader issues of corruption and accountability in Brazilian politics. These case studies show that accountability is not just about punishing wrongdoing, but maintaining the integrity of our institutions. When leaders are held accountable, it sends a powerful message that ethical behavior and public service are paramount. Conversely, when accountability is lacking, it erodes public trust and undermines democracy. So, as we navigate modern politics, Let's remember that accountability isn't just a political tool, it's a democratic imperative. Holding our leaders accountable isn't just about justice, it's about preserving the values that underpin our society.